Hello and welcome back. In this section of Module 1, we are going to take a look at navigating Illuminate DnA. And in the last session, we spent some time looking at how to locate help documents. I just want to review this really quick because I do think it's important to know where to find help. And so just know that on the main tile page, you can find help documents by clicking on the help tile and locate Illuminate tutorials and webinars and links to past training materials. And you can also locate help documents in the control panel that was mentioned in the last video. So you can find help here. You can also access help documents by clicking on this little question mark. We're going to go into this a little bit more later on, but there's also this Help Center tab, and you can search for articles here. And one other feature that I did not mention is the live chat, and this is available to teachers, and this can be found in the control panel. And I'm going to just throw up an image right now here. This is from a teacher account to show you what it looks like for a teacher. And you will go into your control panel, select live chat, and then from here you're going to type your message as to what you need help with and then start your live chat. And again, that is only available to teachers at this time. When you log into Illuminate, you will most likely be on the tile page or be set to the dashboard. To toggle back and forth between the dashboard and the tile page, simply just click on dashboard, which is the icon next to the squares, and this will take you to the dashboard page. If you'd like to go back to the tile page, you can either click on the little tile image or you can click on the Illuminate symbol in the upper left, and that will take you to the tile page as well. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard for just a moment, and we're going to talk about the dashboard. As you can see, there is a lot of information on the dashboard page. This page can be customized a bit by adding widgets and moving the widgets around to your liking. So there are some widgets that come custom with the configuration, such as Bulletin and Illuminate announcements. And these are announcements that Illuminate might push out to end users, and bulletins are going to be announcements that the district will send out to the end users. And the bulletin will be announcements that the district sends out. Under favorites, you can select district favorites or my favorites. And if you have an assessment that you go to quite often and you want to just have it right at your fingertips, then when you create that assessment, just give it a my favorite tag, and then it will show up on your my favorites on your dashboard. The assessment list widget is a list of recently accessed assessments. To go to that assessment, just simply click on the link and it will take you to the assessment with all of the data readily available. There is also a state assessment performance summary widget and then a question group widget also. I do have student birthdays added. This is a widget that you might find handy. I do have it collapsed, but you can expand that and then search birthdays out 7, 14, and 30 days. Another widget is demographic distribution. And if you would ever like a review on how to customize your dashboard, you can click take a tour and it will give you a brief tutorial on how to personalize your dashboard. And that is your dashboard in Illuminate DnA. Next, I'm going to go back to the tile page by clicking on the tile icon, and this is the page that I live on most of the time just because I find things easily accessible with these tiles. There are many customized tiles on this page, and I will spend more time in the next module on this to help you locate common assessments and other information that is going to be on this page. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time going through this, but the tiles that you will really need to know how to locate and access are the common assessment and pacing guide tile. And this is going to take you to a list of the common assessments and pacing guides. And then also your grade level or subject area tile. I think you'll find that this to be handy when locating common assessments. And based on what grade you teach, you may have different tiles and what building you're at. So these are really customized by grade level, subject area, and building. But it's a nice way to easily access assessments and reports. So that is the tile page. I do want to talk about a couple of things over here in the right. We mentioned the control panel here in the last session or activity as well. In this control panel, this is where you can manipulate your date. If you have access to more than one site, you can select which site you would like to look at. And also, if you are looking at, if you've created student groups and you want to take a look at a particular student group, you can also select which student group you would like to look at here. And then that is going to set all of your visibility within the system to that particular student group. This is just something to be careful about because it does change that visibility. So if you run into a situation where you cannot see students, then I would check this filter and make sure that it's set to all students if you're looking for that. You can also change your password here, and this is also where you can sign out. And again, help documents. And then there is some other information here. There's a badging system, so you can see your badges that you've earned. And again, probably the main thing that you will want to do here is either maybe change your site if you have access to more than one site. And if you need to go back in time, so let's say another example of where you might use this is if you're a high school teacher and it's second semester and you want to see how your kiddos did first semester and they're no longer rostered to you because maybe it's just a semester long class. So you can go back to the prior semester, any date within the prior semester, change that date, save your changes, and then you will have access to the students that you had that first semester. So that is where this is very useful. Also in between, occasionally there might be a records day, so it might be in between semesters. So let's say the semester ends December 20th and it's set to the 21st, but the next semester doesn't start until January. You'll want to just backdate the control panel date here to see those students. On the left sidebar, there's a little icon. This is basically just your initials, and you can also change your password and sign out here. There is a search feature, and this is a shortcut to certain features like lessons and videos. You can switch students and maybe look for an assessment. This is just kind of a shortcut if you just want to do a quick search and find what you're looking for. K4 teachers, you may find this handy if you're printing progress reports and your job gets stuck in the queue. You can go to scheduled jobs and then go back out, and that will kind of push that download through. And I do have instructions on how to do this attached to each of the progress report assessments. Next, you can access assessments, and from this page you can either create, view, browse assessments if you are looking at creating an item bank. And then for the most part, that's probably what you would use this particular tab for. And also if you get into creating performance bands, this is where you would do that. Grades, you should not have this. This is just something that I have that I use for transcripts. Reports is a handy feature. Here's where you can view reports, create a report, and so you can view reports that have already been created from this page. This is where you can also find those nice pre-built M-step reports, those system reports with those big data uploads. To search for a report from here, you can just simply type what you are searching for. and it will give you a list of, I searched MSTEP, it's giving me a list of MSTEP reports. If I wanted, say I know I want to pull one of those pre-built reports, you can go to report type and select pre-built. And I'm actually going to just type STEP here because I had a funny spelling, but here if you just type STEP, you can see these nice pre-built reports that Illuminate has created for you. Next is students. Where I find this helpful is to do a general search. So let's just say you want to search for a student. You can select search 2.0. You can type the last name of the student or student ID, do a search, and then once that populates, click on that student to get to the demographic page. You can also get to the student list page from here as well. I'm not going to click on this because I don't want to populate any students, but as a teacher, what you would do is click on student list, and then you're going to select your hour. And I'm going to actually throw a screenshot up so that you can see. So you're going to select your student list, then select which class you would like to view. Once you run that report, it will list all of the students that are rostered to you in that section. Here is where you may also create student groups. There is going to be another session that's going to talk about this a little bit more, but this is where you find that. And basically on this page, I would say that's probably the most common places that you would go. You may go to demographic details, but I usually don't go to details from here. I usually just click on the student. That's going to populate that student and then get to the details. The cogwheel here will give you additional settings if those permissions have been given to you. And then also to keep up to date on recent updates, releases, or what's on the roadmap, you can click on this little question mark here in the lower left. And this will also take you to the Help Center. Any new announcements, and this DNA roadmap kind of gives you an idea of what's on the roadmap and the progress of that. And that is basically how you're going to navigate and get to assessments and reports. One thing, I'm going to go back to assessments here, and I want to show you also view assessments and create assessments. So let's take a look at view assessments first, because I didn't go into much detail on that. But this is where you can also view assessments. You can search for assessments by either just typing in some keywords and do a search. It is a literal search, so if you misspell or the assessment does not have that word in it, it's not going to show for you. One thing I find, there is the ability to add a filter, and this is great, but if that filter is not in the assessment that you're looking for, it's not going to populate for you. So if you are looking for an assessment and for some reason it's not showing up or you get no results, check these filters here, because I can just show you what I mean. I can add some filters, and we're going to say math and writing, and I'm going to search. And I've got these filters here added, and let's say I'm looking for a science assessment. And you're going to see that it's going to show no data available. Well, that's because I added that math and that language arts filter. And so sometimes if you're looking for an assessment and you're not seeing it show up, check your filters here. Sometimes, maybe just clear all. And if you know the title of that assessment, maybe just search for the title. And then sometimes if the academic year isn't correct on the assessment too, and you're searching by the year, that might give you an issue too. So just a little troubleshooting tidbit on locating assessments. Also too, here to the left are some filters too. You can filter by assessments that you've created and go to all assessments or assessments that have been shared with you. if you're looking for something and you cannot locate it, check this over here off to the left as well. It is kind of sticky too, so I'm going to set it to all assessments. And the next time I go out and back in here, it's going to stick to all assessments. So this is a sticky key. If you have it set to, say, trash, and then I'm going to take a look at all the items that are in my trash, go out, go back into view assessments, it's going to hold that setting. So to create an assessment, again, you're going to go to the assessment tab here, create assessment, and then this is here this is where you're going to start building your assessment. Most of our assessments are flexible assessments, and you do have the option of creating any of these types of assessments, but flexible assessments tend to be the assessments that teachers go to, because basically you're just going to upload a PDF and set your answer key, and they're pretty quick to create. To get to summary assessments, you can select the other tab, and this is where you're going to get to a summary assessment. So if you're creating a summary assessment, that is under the other tab. And that is assessments.